Making the Kraken. I'm Wes Potts.
And I'm Alex Kahneman.
And today we're going to be talking about some interesting things and stuff like that. Actually, I'm going to start us off with actually the newest thing that I have on my list. Someone sent me an article today about Samsung is developing a TV that colorblind people, like people with like red-green colorblind and stuff, can actually see the colors more vibrant.
Wow.
I personally have colorblindness, so this is exciting to me because I used those glasses the other day. I went over to actually Sam's husband has the same kind of colorblindness as I do, and I tried those glasses on, like the sunglasses kind of thing. It was really awesome. I was like playing a video game and I could see like. It's not that I think the thing that a lot of people get confused is they hear the word blindness. It's not that I can't see the color at all. Like, it just doesn't exist for me. It just doesn't stand out as much. In fact, it doesn't stand out at all a lot of times with like other, like when it's next to other colors. So it was really interesting to be able to see that. And so with a TV, I can only imagine that all of these, like if there's a setting on a Samsung TV, that will be more enjoyable for me to watch the television.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, video games have already been doing that lately too, you know.
Yeah.
Or they'll add in, you know, you can change the filter of the screen to fit your colorblind.
Right.
type.
Which is really cool. Like that you can develop technology already to that level. But I was reading about that, and I woke up this morning to that particular article, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Someone was just like, oh, hey, I know you're colorblind. And then now that I realize that I'm talking live on this and stuff like that, I realize that's the only thing that person probably knows me as.
Probably.
It's just like, they're like, oh, hey, here's that colorblind guy I talked to one time.
That colorblind guy that hosts the show with me.
Yeah. Good thing this isn't a visual experience. This might be terrible.
Terrible. So they've gone from glasses to the TVs now are going to be.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Next, the movies.
Yeah, right.
And then we're going to have the movies.
And then eventually everybody's going to have to watch everything colorblind.
Yeah. And then we'll rule the earth.
Funny.
Finally, we'll rule the earth. But yeah, today I'm dressed like a wizard.
Wizard West.
Yeah. Not for any particular reason other than I just woke up and didn't want to get out of my robe. It's really cold today.
Yeah. Speaking of wizards, here's something I think is interesting. You know, all of the Harry Potter movies, like, they constantly are about magic.
Right.
But he's a wizard.
Right.
Not a magician. They're not the same thing, right?
Well, I mean, I think it's a circle square. I mean, like, or a square rectangle situation. I think you do magic as a wizard.
Right.
But
I've always, because in my mind, a person who does actual magic is a wizard. A person who does tricks is a magician.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, I was like, think about it. How lame would it have been if Hagrid had bust down that door and been like, "You're a magician, Harry." Like, it would have ruined the whole series. You wouldn't have been able to take it seriously.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, because wizard's a way cooler line. But also, well, there's the C.S. Lewis books like The Magician's Nephew and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess like that guy was actually probably just a parlor trick guy, and then his nephew created the entire world of Narnia. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's actually that's a really valid. I've never thought about like you're a magician, Harry.
Yeah,
now
right.
I'm gonna say that all the time, like.
I don't know, it just crossed my mind the other day. Also, I've been watching these videos on YouTube called Knowledge of the Forever Time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I watched. I hung out the other day, and I don't think you were there, but I watched like one of the episodes, and I was just like, there's like 4 of these, and in some of them there's like aliens on the front of them, and other ones there's like pyramids, and I'm like, all right, I gotta watch what my roommate's been watching just to see what's going on.
Yeah, they're hilarious. You gotta check them out. I'm like the guy who makes them. I think is Barry. I don't know, something
Barry White.
something Barry. Yeah, you just type in knowledge of the forever time. They're hilarious, and I think you should watch them. I mean, they're also like the guy. He really does make a couple good points, and he brings up some really interesting things. And I like watching it just because he shows me all of the like different like monolithic cultures that I like don't really know about. He's like taking the time to find all of the information he can on them and show pictures and yes, he does constantly say, and if you look, the symbols here are not actually blah, they're stars. Everything to him is stars.
It's like Bevan on our wall.
Yeah, right.
But like,
but yeah, you guys like. I want somebody else to go check this out and then like tell me about what they think, how it makes them feel, because it's really interesting, but it's also really funny.
Is it anywhere similar to so like the time cube? Like we watched that thing on the time cube and stuff like that, and like the time cube is this crazy man from Alabama or something like that, and he's just like he thinks that time is cube. Well, I can't actually like it was time is cubic, and like there's like 4 faces, or there's like 8 faces of the earth, or something like that. Like,
yeah, basically he was saying that like every rotation or every day has 4 days within the rotation of the earth.
Yeah,
and like what he means is like if you're like on one half of the planet and you make a full rotation, that's a full day for you. But if you're on this part of the planet and you make a full rotation, that's your specific day.
Right.
And their specific day and their specific day, so on and so forth, dividing it into the 4, points of a circle.
But also scientists don't want you to know this.
Right.
Because it's the anti-Cube agenda.
Yeah,
we should get shirts that say that on there.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's how I understand it to mean. Of course, this guy might actually mean that like there's 4 different realities of time
4
going on
planes.
at each time. I was like, well, that would be logical. That's just saying like you can experience 4 different days depending on where you're at in the world, but it's all still a day.
I've got a question that I'm going to start asking our guest, but I'm going to ask you first in order to try it out. And obviously, I have do Dolphins have an agenda? So any guests listening to this in the future, this is another loaded question that you might get. I'm just going to throw one randomly at you.
Hit me.
But it's okay, Batman. If you could wake up as any celebrity for one day, who would you wake up as?
Do they have to still be alive, or?
I mean, yes.
Okay, one celebrity.
Unless you want to wake up in a coffin.
Good point. Okay. If I could be any
That's
celebrity.
a whole nother horrible experience in itself, if you can imagine. It's like, I want to be Humphrey Beauregard, and you like wake up in a coffin, and you're just like, this is my whole day. Being buried alive, people's greatest fear is my whole day, and it's a horror movie in itself.
Yep. And you're fine because you don't need air. You're just laying there in the dark.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to be, honestly, right now, I wouldn't mind having a day in, what's his name? He just did The Disaster Artist.
James Franco.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being James Franco.
He'd be pretty fun, I think. Like, I came up with the idea of I'd like to be Joaquin Phoenix for a day, but here's the reason. So, obviously, if I were to wake up randomly in a celebrity's body, I'm not really going to know that celebrity really well. Like, I know their caricature, but I don't know what they're like personally.
Right.
So if I just started doing something weird that was out of Joaquin Phoenix's, like, normal habit routine, people would still just think I'm Joaquin Phoenix. They're just like, oh, he's on something. He's just doing something weird today. Like, if I just, like, decided to, like, go get pizza at a place that, like, is just really weird for Joaquin Phoenix to go get it, they'd be like, that's Joaquin.
Right. Do you think him and Shia LaBeouf are on like the same medication or something?
I think they have the same publicist as like Jim Carrey, which is the idea that they're like, hey, like my career is kind of sinking at the moment. I haven't really got anything, and the guy that's the publicist is just like, have you tried being crazy for a minute?
Yeah,
like, it works every time.
It works every time. Just do it.
Follow your dreams. And and then there's like the I am not famous anymore. And then Jim Carrey being a painter, which isn't weird, but the other part of his, like, just everything about Jim Carrey is just terrifyingly weird at the moment.
Yeah, right. Where he's doing the, like, I'm not Jim Carrey.
I'm not Jim Carrey anymore.
Actually, I think it's really interesting to listen to him talk.
What if Andy Kaufman just came back and like what if like he method acted that so hard that it just became like a separate like psychology in his head, and like it's just now been like battling, like Jim has just been like keeping it at bay, and now like Andy Kaufman's just now like Jim Carrey's version of what he thinks Andy Kaufman is just taken over.
Took over, yeah. Oh, that'd be terrifying.
That's man, we're writing some really good movies on this. Like, if anyone out there listens to this and like makes films, they should just make what we keep telling them to make.
I want a movie about burritos and tacos fighting.
Okay, is it animated? Can it be animated?
I guess it can be animated.
Like, yeah,
live action burritos and tacos would be way cooler.
Well, yeah, it'd be. Yeah, but I think like you could actually like the stabbing scenes and stuff with like knives and stuff would be way more fulfilling to watch in animation, because you could be like, oh, it's just taco sauce, and the FCC's gonna be like, it's just taco sauce.
Yeah, right. No, it'd be great, man. You could do it. We could do it in like live action stop motion and put fake arms and legs on the tacos and burritos. And every time they get shot, you just take a bite out of them wherever they got shot. So they're just like slowly getting eaten. It'd be hilarious, like a first person, like like a war shooter.
Do you remember the movie Cats and Dogs?
No.
Like it was about. Okay, so maybe I just remember this movie because I'm old as sin. But it was this animated. It was like this like half animated film. So it was like live action with like the real like dogs and cats. And there was like, I think the main cat and the main dog were like, what was it, like a beagle and like a white Persian cat. But it was this like cats and dogs in this universe were constantly at odds as they are in this modern day, but also they have spy technology.
Oh shit! I do remember this movie. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and the dogs and the cats are like smart and can talk, and yeah, that movie was ridiculous. It came out right around the time that like Spy Kids was really popular. I just remember, and like Baby Geniuses. Oh yeah, and Baby Geniuses. I just remember. What was it? I remember the one scene with like I think it was a Sphinx cat that like had like the goggles, like the night vision goggles that just like kicked ass and stuff. I don't know why I thought of that. Maybe it was Joaquin Phoenix. Like, that's something he would do. I saw a preview the other day for his newest movie that's coming out called Mary Magdalene with Rooney Mara in it. And quite frankly, I'm not gonna lie, he plays Jesus in this film. Oh, does he? Yeah, and he just kind of looks like a hippie that got lost at Coachella and then thinks he's Jesus. It's scarier than Willem Dafoe's version of Jesus in The Last Temptation of Christ, and that's Willem Dafoe, the scariest man ever. That's true. The man can grin and you think he's up to something. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very true. He does kind of have like a face made out of rubber. It's just like looks like. I think it might just be like the lower, like from his nose down is just like the devil. He made a deal with the devil to be famous, and the devil's just gonna be like, he's like, yeah, you can be famous, but here's the little quirk in your system. You're always gonna have my smile. Yeah, right. Like, the devil's smile. He's like, all right, I guess I'll have the devil's smile. And now he's famous and everything's awesome, but like he just has that like just grimace of like. Or what if like the devil was like tired of taking people's souls, and he was like, yeah, you can be famous, but can I like give you my smile? Yeah, I just want people to know me. I don't want your soul. I just want people to know my smile. The devil became awfully concerned with the devil you know. He starts trading all sorts of things. But yeah, so like that was yeah. That's my newest question: is if you could wake up as a celebrity for the day, what celebrity would you be and why? Because there has to be the reason behind it. Like I can't just say James Franco. I have to say why. Well, yeah, I mean, you aren't a guest on this show. You're kind of a staple. Well, yeah. We talk to you every week. I'm sure that your plans can keep evolving on why you want to wake up as James Franco. Yeah, my plans are always evolving. I want to wake up as James Franco because I mean, because out of all of the movies he's made, he seems to be a person who. First off, he's got a lot of range as an actor. True. And he can do funny stuff well, and he can do dramatic stuff well, and yeah, that's all it is to me. Like, just because, I don't know, I feel like I would really enjoy. Do you want to do it because you want to inquire what it's like to be James Franco, just to like see? Yeah, I want to know what it's like. Yeah.
So,
Not even to do his movies. I just want to know what he's like, you know?
Yeah, like, well, you'll never know if you're him, but like, you should like try to like get another wish where you can be Seth Rogen.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You're right.
If you want to know what James Franco's like, you should want to wake up to be Seth Rogen for the day.
That's fair.
Be like, hey, James, what's up? Want to hang out today? He's like, yeah, sure, man. And like, then you just figure out what he's like, and then you'd be like, next wish is to be James Franco for the day.
Exactly. Now I know what James Franco is like. I can go be James Franco for a day.
For one whole day. So I was talking to Patrick last night. Obviously, you met Patrick on the show, and he's kind of. Well, he has odd quirks about him. Let's be honest. We love him, but last night it was funny because he was sitting there, and, like I was working with him, and he had this group like wave him over, and they're like, "You look just like some UFC fighter." He couldn't remember when he told me the story, so I don't know what it is. It's not me just forgetting. But he looked like some UFC fighter, and I was like, "Come on, Patrick, why don't you do UFC?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not really interested in it. I'm more interested in blood sports."
Yeah,
and
right.
I just go, Patrick, what sport are you interested in that's legal?
Yeah, right.
He brought up a fair point. He brought up the point. Though most of the ones that he really fancies aren't really legal, there is one that is more brutal, apparently, in his words, to UFC, and it's the like modern medieval like warfare.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Ones.
Yeah, he knows how to fight longsword. Like he'll put on a full suit of armor and go out there and fight longsword battles.
But I watched some videos last night about it. Obviously, I've watched them before because we've watched them. But like,
they're amazing.
I watched more of them. They are the most ridiculous like things. Like there was one that I watched, and Patrick had told me about it, and I found the video. I should have texted him in the middle of the night, but there was this one scene where like this guy was fighting this other guy, and they have these like little shields on their arm, and they're probably like they probably like extend probably like 4 inches outside of the knuckle, and then they're like about a foot wide. But this guy had like been like trying to like get this guy to like fall to the ground, because that's how you get someone out on the team, is they have to like take and
hit the ground. Yeah,
they have to hit the ground, and so like this guy was like trying to get him to like fall, right, and he just kept hitting him with the shield, and then when they like cut to the very end after this team had lost, this guy's helmet was dented in, and they actually had to like slowly remove the helmet because it was dented in a way that it had cut his head. And he had to go get like butterflies, like little butterfly band-aids.
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
like, that was crazy.
Yep.
Like that's an insane. There's people that I've talked to that like they've made weapons and stuff. There's a whole community about this. Apparently.
Man. Apparently there's a whole community behind like not only just the fighting, but like the whole like Renaissance culture and medieval culture. Like if you could go to one of these like festivals where they're having these big old fights, and you'll actually have people there that are committed to being in character and like being like a town member that's, you know, outside of the, you know, the big day at the fair.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'll cook food and things like that.
They also have like minstrels that do like music and stuff like that. One of my favorite things that I've seen recently is an interest in I think it's called like I don't remember. I'm just gonna call it cuisine anthropology for right now. There's a more technical word for it, but basically it's like the history of like how people cooked food back in the day in a certain way. Like I think one of the best ones is I think it's somewhere in the South. I want to say it's in Virginia, but there's this one anthropologist who's writing these books, and he wants to know how like slave cultures like cooked their food back in the day. And so he has this like little workshop where he's like recreated a kitchen that would look exactly like it was in the 1800s, and he just figures out how they cooked their food day in and day out to make like the meals that we enjoy today that are now like traditional American cuisine, like what they made back then and how they made it. And I thought that's a really interesting field of archaeology.
Yeah, it really is. Like trying to because if they can recreate like old recipes and like old foods and stuff, like it'd be way cooler.
Yeah.
To like I don't know. You could make a whole restaurants and like portions. You could put restaurants in museums that are only based on like
the food that the museums are like. Yeah, or just like even even like they could have like month themes and stuff like especially like I think it's Union stations. A lot of times they'll get those like traveling exhibits. Like they had like King Tut. I saw the Dead Sea Scrolls at them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think one time also I saw Princess Diana's like crowns and stuff.
Oh wow.
But yeah, you could do like a theme with that too. That would take a lot of effort and work. I feel like the Smithsonian could probably pull it off where they invite like guest like archaeology chefs and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting things that I'd seen on that kind of level though is actually someone that's not an archaeologist but a chef himself. And he was on that Chef's Table show.
Oh yeah.
And he's from Russia.
Okay.
And like so back in the 1950s, whenever Russia, like the Soviet Union, starting to be the powerhouse after World War II, they basically started putting out cookbooks to make everything standardized, so that people would like be able to cook the same thing everywhere. And so they started to do this, but it became so popular that other ways of cooking kind of got lost.
Yeah, right.
Because you had such like you had the idea of like, this is all we have at the supermarket. You'd have to stick to the guidelines anyway, because it almost became a marketing kind of thing too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so like,
well, I mean, if you think about it, if you have a really popular cookbook and everyone's buying it, well, if you just stock your store with only the ingredients in the cookbook, you're guaranteed going to sell them all.
Yeah, and everyone's going to wind up. Yeah. So, but the thing is, this guy was talking about classic Russian cuisine, like before the Soviet Union, because like the Soviet Union had gone on for 60 years by that, or like by I think it was like 40 more years and stuff by the time this came out, 40, 50 years. But he was talking about how everyone still, after the Soviet Union collapsed, was still using that cookbook. So what he started doing was he started going to these monasteries where like the big monasteries in Russia, where they still had like old cookbooks from like the chefs that would like cook for the monks and everything like that. And so he started relearning all these like old traditional recipes and stuff. And now he has this like Russian food, like he's got a restaurant in Moscow that serves traditional, like they had like the weirdest things ever. There's like moose lip and everything like that, but it's like rolled. It's really interesting. That show constantly amazes me. I wound up talking to Chloe about that show the other day. Because there's also the one episode,
Chef's Table, right?
Chef's Table, yeah.
Chef's Table.
Especially season 3 has been really good. Because there's the other one that I really liked on there, which was about the Jewish chef from the Bronx that moved to Japan. That like has one of the top like ramen joints in all of Japan.
I've seen that one. That
one
really
was
cool.
Really impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really cool. Isn't his name Dave or something? It's like he has Dave's.
Yeah, it's just like a normal dude's name, or
it's Tim. It's Tim's Ramen or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it's something that's very not Japanese.
Yeah, he's very not Japanese. But he's now respected over there as like one of the ramen masters. Which is crazy.
I liked that he used rye wheat in his ramen noodles and stuff, which made it kind of interesting.
Yeah, gave it its own flavor.
Yeah,
unique kind of thing that no one else had done up there.
I really want to. I want to actually have a job where I can just go travel and eat food. I just want to be Anthony Bourdain. Can I just be Anthony Bourdain?
I mean, you can try.
Okay. Do I have to Highlander? There can only be one. Listen here, Anthony.
You're gonna have to go kill him and take his place.
I don't want to kill Anthony Bourdain though. He seems all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Have you ever read any of his books?
No. I've seen a lot of his like. I watched a couple of his like talks that he's had, like when he's gone around and like talked at colleges and stuff. I've watched some recordings of those, which are really good. Yeah.
If anybody who's listening to this, if you don't know who Anthony Bourdain is, or you do know who,
go fuck yourself.
Right? You should look up his book, Kitchen Confidential, and just watch it.
That was his first one that he wrote, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's like, I think that's one of the most important ones that everyone should read, because like he's not just like talking about like, oh, this is what it's like to work in a kitchen, and these are the things that you do when you're a cook, and this is how you be a chef. like you actually learn what it's like to work in a kitchen and like to be around these people and understand their workflow and like their methodology and how they work. And I mean, like reading it, it's like the only book that comes anywhere near close to, you know, kind of really getting the idea across about what it's really like to be a part of a kitchen.
Other than working in a kitchen.
Well, yeah.
So if you're really rich and don't have to have a job and have never had to work the food industry like most everyone else that I know,
yeah,
read Kitchen Confidential.
Yeah.
And also follow us on Patreon.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, man.
All right. Do you want to do one more round where we make up? Okay, so here's the deal. I'll pick a random
trait.
I'll pick a random trait. You pick a random person. We'll see what the week's person and trait is from Super Fight.
All right. This week's Super Fight character is the Smoke Monster.
And this is pathetic. He's radioactive.
Fuck.
I feel like okay, let's do a redraw.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The actual redraw.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
All right, 101 Dalmatians.
In a blimp. I like
Perfect.
that one. That's the name of the episode.
101 Dalmatians in a blimp.
That's the name of the episode.
Perfect. All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back very soon with some new episodes for you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And stay tuned. We're gonna have a couple more guests on soon. And
also, if you're probably listening to this, it's probably the week of the holidays. So happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and
happy Hanukkah. We're recording this during Hanukkah. Hanukkah will probably be over by the time this is released.
Yeah, right.
But also, Kwanzaa is the day after Christmas. Mm-hmm. So. Happy Kwanzaa out there, too.
Right.
Is that how you say it? You say Happy Kwanzaa? I gotta look this up.
I think it's Happy Kwanzaa.
I'm not leaving this until we look this up.
Have a happy Christmas, Kwanzaa to you.
Oh, that, yeah. What was it? The T-Mobile or something like that, where it's like, doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jew.
Yeah, that was the Comedy Central commercial.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Kwanzaa. How do I say hello to Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa.
That's how you say it. Okay, I like that one, yeah. I'm just going to say Happy Kwanzaa. If someone wants to tweet me and tell me that I'm wrong, just be nice.
Help us culturally understand.
Yeah, I've never celebrated Kwanzaa. I want to celebrate Kwanzaa because I want to understand it because I have celebrated Hanukkah once or twice.
Yeah.
So.
I've never celebrated Hanukkah or Kwanzaa.
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everybody. Good night.
Night.